1988. So, yes, Yasin, my son, you were 11 years old at the time. 11-year-old puppy. Oh, sorry. Anyway, delete that. What happened was, again, I was invited to go along, or I managed to cajole myself onto a trip down Lost Johns that Pete Hall and others were doing. Again, it was something into the higher level, upper level series called Lyle Caverns. And yes, I have been down to this before, but there's some new sort of like extensions and passages to be found, like what you call an exciting round trip into the what do you call that? Do you know what they call
Kendall
it?
extension.
Kendall extension, sorry, yeah. So this guy called Peter Hall, who was a Red Rose member at the time, and I wasn't a Red Rose member, but he got me interested in joining the Red Rose because of his
passion and enthusiasm.
exactly. He took the words right out of my mouth, along with other people like somebody called Neil Pearson.
I've heard of him.
The two principal characters that got me into the Red Rose Club, so you got him to blame. Nice one, Neil. No, it's alright. So what I'm saying is, like, I went on a trip with Pete. You won't believe this, but I went on a trip with Pete. Did a lovely trip down there on the Saturday. I said to Pete, I'm a member of Bradford, and we've got a permit for Penyghent Port, so I want to give you a trip that you'll never forget. You know. We'll make it a quick trip because the weather doesn't look too good, but we'll be in and out before the water comes down, sort of thing, you know. And Pete said, be all right, you know. Maybe not so many words, but Peter, where are you? Give me inspiration. What did you say? No, truly, you know, I said to him, I says, thank you for the trip that you gave me down Lost Johns, so I'm going to give you a trip. Hope you'll like it, and you know, get down to the bottom of Penyghent Port. Not the extension, just the bottom. And a quick trip, which was semi-rigged by, I don't know who was rigging it at the time, but it was that semi-rigged.
Rupert, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Somebody was diving down there.
Right.
Might have been Rupert.
So it was supposedly a quick trip. We took some gear down, and we didn't have to do swim rigging. But I noticed that when I got to Niagara, it just happened to be a place called Niagara, that the water levels had swelled up, and the force of the water was like a bit more than it was when we came into the cave. So on the way back out to a pitch called, is it Myers Leap? The ladder was started to take shape and form out of the water. It's been pushed out. And I looked at Pete and he looked at me and thought, oh shit, we're in the shit now, aren't we? We got up, we did the pitch, the ladders and the lines that we had. I think it was a ladder on that one. I lost my spanner because it got pulled off my carabiner, so I didn't have no more spanner to do rig. But not to worry, you know, the next few pitches were free climbable, weren't they?
Because you hadn't bothered rigging them.
Exactly. So there's a series of, I don't know, 3 or 4 pitches going up towards the two big pitches, the 130 if you did it in one. You know what I mean, don't you? The third and fourth, or the third. Anyway, going up there was a bit fraught with, how can I put it, tense excitement. Because, you know, we knew that we had a hell of a job to get out of this cave, and we got to the big chamber area where the fourth pitch, the big 60, is it? And I could not see anything there because it's like walking into a storm cloud, you know, and there's water vapour and mist everywhere. So I was feeling around for the bag where it was. I couldn't see my SRT kit that I was putting on because it was that wet everywhere. And I said to Pete, I said, I don't know how we're going to get through this, because I think if this is here, what's it going to be like further up? So with that in mind, we both got up there, managed to get the bolts out that we had to shield with our bodies to sort of like take the bolt out because it was underwater, bouncing off the ledge from the third pitch to the top of the fourth pitch. So we managed to sort of like pussy up the third pitch.
Were you cold or not?
I'm coming to that. one thing at a time. Right. By the way,
Check that you've got, you know.
by the way, we did have wetsuits on, which were okay when you're active. Yes, we got to the top of that pitch, and this is where the fun began because we were going to go onto the. We thought we could get out of the cave if a ladder was okay. The second pitch, the little pitch ladder. Yeah, the ladder was all right. It was like near 90 degrees sticking out like that. So I lassoed the ladder with a tape sling, and I got halfway up it because I was actually not in the force of water. The water was spouting out. And I said to Pete when I was halfway up the ladder, I said, Pete, do you think this is a good idea, mate? Because if we get out past this one, we've got this low bit to go to the entrance pitch, and then we've got all the entrance crawl to do, the first pitch. And I said, and Pete says, right, I think you've got a point there, Darren. So, with that in mind, we decided to retreat to the top of the big third pitch, and there's like stepping across the chasm. There's like a ledge, and if you turn round, you could stand up on the edge of this pitch. Imagine that's the pitch there, the chasm, and you're standing on this ledge, and there's like a wall here in front of you. So we were stood there all night, trying to sort of keep each other's occupied with tails.
Did you hug or not?
No, we didn't actually hug at this time. But there are other stories that were huggable. But that's another story. To get to the end of this one first.
Why are you not good?
Because I was standing here like that, the ledge was that wide, he was standing there like that, and it was difficult to sort of like turn around and, you know, embrace each other, for one thing. And we didn't feel like hugging at the time. I felt a little bit worried at one point in the evening's proceedings when the trip we set off at 12 o'clock dinner time, Sunday, BST, and we were there at 12 o'clock Sunday, no, midnight still. And I said to Peter, Pete, what's this that I've heard about this shivering reflex that you get when you're suffering hypothermia, and if you stop shivering, you've got 2 hours to live. Is that right? I don't know, Dalek. Says, well, if it's right, I've stopped shivering. and then next thing I started shivering, and I thought, oh, it's all right, Pete. I'm back to normal again. I'm not in so many words, but I knew that, you know, my time hadn't quite come yet. So with that in mind, I was a bit worried that, you know, once you stop shivering, you know, your core temperature goes down, and you've got to be worried. And we had no space blankets or anything like that. Remember, lightning fast ship. About 3 hours.
You don't need the space blanket for a fast lightning.
No. You haven't got time to stop to put it on, have you? Anyway, come 8 o'clock following morning, I thought, well, I should be at work at this time now, shouldn't I? Actually, I should have been at work an hour early because I was doing 12-hour shifts, so I didn't know how to sort of get a word across. But anyway,
he didn't know how to get a word across.
Yeah.
Stuck on the ledge in the bottom of Penyghent.
I know.
It
didn't cross my mind.
Did you have?
I know. We didn't have a more fun link to a satellite GPS and
Tell them I'll be a
TV.
bit late.
Yeah. I was hoping that some guys and girls that were in the club that were there that weekend might sort of like word or work out that it was me that was like, you know, stuck and get word to work. But
Let your line manager know.
anyway, the thing was, everybody knew about it in the country later on because at 8 o'clock we managed to sort of get going again. The water levels had dropped down. The CRO had the same idea at the same time. What's his name? Mick Dunwick, yeah, Mick Dunwick, Dave Gallivan, the two principal rescuers at the time, were at top of the first pitch. And because we're down so long, the lights, our lights, something you might not have thought about or considered, but the lights will start to get a little bit dim. So you're all right in a crawl, but when you get to a big passage like a nave, like a pitch, going up, you can't see the top from the bottom. So shouting out to them, I said, we're okay, but I can't see out. I said, oh, all right. So you're coming up last. And I said, is that a good idea? No, not really, but you're coming up last, Dalek, you'll be alright. So I was there groping around in the dark, can't put my SRT kit back on again, fumbling around, in the near glowworm conditions, and I got pulled up, I got more pulled up than, I pushed up, but we were told to sort of like, take it easy, calm down, sit down, you're going to give you something to eat now. So after a Mars bar and a bit of curry, we got going again. And then we got out and then like...
Did you beat him out? Wrong.
No, they wouldn't let us. They said, there's like, well, they're almost like hanging on to SRT bag, to slow you down. Said, don't rush, you don't want it to get exposed. They didn't know how close we were to it, getting exposure, dying. But anyway, we got out, glad to be walking again on surface in fresh air, and unknown to us, there's like a television crew at the top. because they got word that something was happening, and you know what they're like for the tidbits of information. They just like to sort of like, be there, biting at the bit, saying their own thing to get the media coverage. Anyway, I didn't say up to them at the time. I just smiled and walked back, and I got to the Potter Club quarters at Brackenbottom in Horton Nibblesdale, and Lord behold, fate worse than death. There's this guy called Hair Flick, or Pete Faulkner, the hook warden, and he would kill me like a ton of bricks, saying, I warned you, Dalek, I told you, Dalek, why did you do it? You should have gone down, you know the way for customers like that, you didn't have the permission of the club, and you're going to be banned, committee, So there's yet another committee meeting about me on this issue. No, seriously, I did get a letter. As one letter of several letters, but from Brian Rhodes, I think it was at the time. Anyway, the thing was, I managed to get back home. I can't remember how I got home now, but got home and I was worried about work, so I turned into work at 3 o'clock, and they said, "Oh, forget it, just go home." There's no point. I said, "Well, who's managing the shift? Who's holding the fort?" "Oh, we're all right." He says, "It's okay, don't worry, you've had a grueling time. Go back." I said, "Okay then, thanks." And I went home, and then earlier in the evening, a newspaper reporter came round saying, "Are you Mr. Dalek? Living at Bucking Towers in Bradford, if you remember?" Yeah. And I said, "What is this bad reportage, this coverage that you've been giving?" Broadcasting about me and this rescue, because I heard not some nice reports, and I asked him to sort of like publish only what I was telling him, and that was a bad move because the guy obviously had other ideas. He didn't want to sort of like print anything that I said about the trip. From my point of view, he just fabricated a total bullish story, as it were, to make the headlines a bit more, vibrant, as it were. So with that in mind, the newspaper coverage was there. The Look North programme on that night, which I'd missed, but I was told was quite interesting, because this guy that everybody knows in Yorkshire was up for grabs for rescue. So I got a bit of a name, infamous reputation at that time.